Javelina Nation, and welcome to episode 3 of our Javelina Coaches Show here in 2021. I appreciate you taking the time to join us today, and we're excited to talk to a few more of our head coaches here in Javelina Athletics. We'll be joined a little bit later by the head Javelina men's basketball coach, Johnny Estelle, as well as the TAMUK baseball coach, Jason Gonzalez. But starting off week 3, once again with our head Javelina women's basketball coach, Michael Madrid. Coach Madrid, thanks for stopping by.
Appreciate you having me, Mark. Thank you.
I talked to you on Thursday after that game. You weren't it wasn't a great day for you guys, but I imagine you were in a much better mood after Saturday's game. You guys beat St. Mary's on the road by 15. What did you like about what you saw from your team on Saturday?
Well, I just think it goes back to our preparation on Friday. You know, practice for our team right now is so important. Simply, as everyone knows, we have 11 new players, 9 of them are freshmen, and so any opportunity that we have to watch film and learn from a game, learn from practice, and then sit down and get on the floor so they can see it and then actually go through it and execute it helps us. And I thought they responded extremely well to our film meeting on Friday morning as well as practice on Friday, and obviously it paid off for us on Saturday.
You mentioned on Thursday you felt like your team early on played very passive. It seemed like the switch got flipped or something. On Saturday, you guys were up by 21 at the end of the first quarter. How did things seem to change? What was the biggest reason you think things changed so dramatically for your team?
And, I just thought Thursday we were just really, mentally not with it. I thought we had a lot of mental breakdowns. I thought our concentration level was really poor, and it showed on the offensive end as far as our execution. Defensively, Thursday we were pretty good overall. We had some breakdowns here or there, but we really cued in on that on Friday's practice and really harped on the importance of concentrating and showing some maturity. And I thought Saturday they stepped up to the challenge and played really well.
Was that first quarter as good a quarter as you've had a team play for you?
And it's been a long time. It's been a long time since we've shot that well. I looked at the stat sheet after the game and thought, man, we really shot the ball extremely well. And so, it's amazing. It's amazing when the ball goes in the basket, how it changes the entire mentality of the players, the coaching staff, everybody in general. And so, you can draw up the most amazing play in the world, but if the ball doesn't go in, it's not that exciting. But anytime the ball is falling, things seem to be going well for you.
You've mentioned a few times you were waiting to see your team play a full 40-minute game. You said that'll be a special day when we can put together a full 40 minutes of complete basketball. Was Saturday's game, was that the kind of game you were looking for?
I thought the first half we were really solid. I thought we kind of got really complacent. And again, I think that goes back to some maturity and being able to play in those type of situations. I thought we had some lulls again offensively. Defensively we were pretty good for the most part, and we had some lulls as well there. But, it was exciting to see them play well, especially in the first half. And we just kind of came out and we got to kind of keep our foot on the pedal, I guess, if you will, and just really learn to close out games. Because as we talked to them at halftime, that was a great win and we're all excited and it was fun, but we had some possessions there that really hurt us, that in tight games that could come back and bite us somewhere.
How much of a priority have you and Coach Weaver made that to make sure that regardless of the score, that your team has been taking every possession seriously and trying to execute each time out, because that those situations that come up maybe when you have a 15-point lead are going to be there when you maybe have a 2-point lead in a game at some point in time, and making sure that they know that this isn't just about today. This is preparation for, hey, when we play next week, we'll be in a spot where it's a tight game and we need to make sure we handle that situation the same way we would regardless of the score.
Well, we talk about it all the time, and it goes back to one of the things we talk about in the locker room before every single game is one possession at a time. It doesn't matter what the score is, doesn't matter what happened prior to that particular possession. We just need to concentrate and focus on that one possession. And I think, again, we tend to lose our focus a little bit. We tend to lose our concentration, and we had some lulls in possessions where that happened. And we talk to our players all the time about value each possession, value each possession. And, sometimes it's difficult, especially when you're dealing with, players in a new situation. It's easy to look up at the score and think, well, I can kind of let off a little bit because we're up 20, we're up 25, or whatever it may be at that point, sometimes even just up 5. And so just getting them to concentrate and finish a game is so big for us. But again, Mark, we had an opportunity to play. A lot of people didn't have that opportunity. We took advantage of it, and just excited hopefully to have another opportunity to practice and play again.
You sent out a tweet that I think I saw on Thursday. You mentioned how you have one of your student athletes who couldn't be with you guys this weekend, but your team did everything they could to try and make sure that the person who couldn't be there felt involved and didn't feel excluded and didn't feel like and tried to make her feel like in every way possible, she was still a part of the team, even if she couldn't be in the locker room or on the court. And you talked about how you feel like this is just proof that you are getting the right people in here to try and build the foundation for this program. What's impressed you the most about the character you've seen from your student athletes?
Well, the first thing is just how incredible was that? How selfless was that of our team? We walk in to go over our pregame speech, and I look over at the locker, and our player that's in quarantine's on FaceTime listening to everything that we're talking about pregame. They put her in the middle when we had our team prayer, and so we have really, really worked on the culture here and establishing a culture here and having the right people within our program. And that right there just, it just opened up my eyes and opened my heart to lead me to believe that we are headed in the right direction regardless of win or lose right now. We have the people in the locker room that we want right now, that we need, and just continuing to add to that culture moving forward.
How enormous of a benefit is it to have type of people like that around your program every day?
It's huge because, number one, they all believe in each other, and they all support one another regardless of what the circumstances are. We talked about last week, have joy in watching your teammates have success, regardless of how you're playing at that particular moment. And I think they're really honing in on that. They're really believing in that. You watch them on the sidelines. They have so much energy on the sidelines. When one player is about to shoot it, the entire team jumps up because they believe that that person's going to make the shot. And so it's fun to watch them. It's fun to be around them. We still have a long, long way to go. This is going to be a long process for us. But the fact of the matter is that we've gotten to play 8 games, and we're excited about that. So anything that they get under their belt this year is just going to be a bonus.
You guys have a long trip to make this weekend. You'll go to Canyon to play West Texas on Friday. And on Saturday, what will be the keys in you guys for your preparation this week?
I think it just goes back to concentration. Number one, we haven't been on a long road trip like this. For a lot of our players, this is going to be new to them. So just talking to them this week about how you need to prepare on the road, how you need to prepare in the hotel room as far as getting rest and sleep and things like that. And then just doing what we've done every single game, going through the scout, watching film, prepping our team, concentrating, and just continuing to get better. And looking forward to the basketball going up Friday evening.
And how much confidence do you have that your team will be ready when the basketball goes up on Friday?
We have a ton of confidence. We talk to them all the time. Expect to do well. Expect to do well. So every time we step on the practice floor, we expect to have a tremendous practice. Every time that the ball goes up, game night or game day, we expect to play well. And so that's just a testament to them and a testament to our coaching staff and our preparation, and just excited to do it one more time.
Well, Coach, best of luck in Canyon on Friday and Saturday. Thanks for the time.
Appreciate you, Mark. Thank you very much.
Between these two programs, Schroeder's got it on the offensive side, looks to kick it to the corner, has an open teammate, and Janessa Payne picks up where she left off on Thursday. A very nice day outside. Saw a lot of the sports that are going as nobody picks up Pena, who blows by and scores 4-0. Spinning around to the left side, back up top, got an open shooter, Schroeder for 3, it's good. First triple attempt of the game, and Coach Madrid, you can see he's quietly kind of watching. It's an 11-0 start. Tough start for Coach Martin's team. Trying to see if his team can D it up. Pena, the transfer in the lane, lays it up and in. That's her second bucket. She's got 4. Jason Martins has to call timeout again. Wilson to the left corner. Schroeder on the wing, gives it back up. Find the open shooter. Haley's open. 3-pointers, good. Excellent ball movement by Kingsville. Pena orchestrates the offense, plays it to her right. Working it around to Dominguez. 3-pointers, good. Turnover, great job by Kingsville. They push. Cherry in the left corner, steps up to the short corner. Easy 2, and that's too easy for Mia Cherry. Down 16. Rattlers were down 21 at the break. If, again, you don't take it all the way back, but back to a good spot. Instead, Cherry says, I got this. No problem when she knocks down the 3. I think Kingsville has shown they're a pretty good team, too. They've just been kind of inconsistent at it. As the shot clock expires, a shot hits the front of the rim. Everybody stop for St. Mary's. And again, Coach Martins just can't believe it here in attendance for this afternoon's contest. This is the 54th meeting all time. Mia Cherry feeling it, hits another 3. She's got 8 points to lead her team. 7 up, being patient for their shot. They work it side to side. Pena back out to the left. 5 on the clock. 3-pointers up. Schroeder drains it from downtown. She's got 6 points. Shot clock at 9. Rivers drives, hand in her face. Jumper is up and good. Nice use of the backboard. And Mia Rivers Pena being patient, finds Cherry, long two. Is it a three? It's no good either way. Rebound to Kingsville. Another offensive chance. They put it with three, and they drain it with Janessa Payne. Janessa Payne came in on fire from outside the arc. Back to the hoop, gives it up top. Back to Pena, shot clock at 6. Another three, and it's good. Annalise Dominguez comes up with a three-pointer. Out to Dominguez. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Deep three for Schroeder, and she rattles one in on the 10th triple of the game. Jason Martins has won a lot of games against Kingsville. In fact, he owns the longest win streak in the series, which is 7 games. A 5-game win streak, though, is going to end. 60-45, the final score here today. As the Javelinas pick up their 4th victory of the season. They're now 4-4 in the Lone Star Conference. St. Mary's falls to 1-5.
Welcome back to episode 3 of the Javelina Coaches Show. And I'm sorry, I lied. Our second guest today is actually the Javelina head men's basketball coach, Johnny Estelle. Coach, thanks for taking the time out. Appreciate you coming on today.
Hey, thank you, sir.
You guys coming off of another week, a pair of wins for you guys, one on Thursday. Again, you guys went on the road and one on Saturday. When we talked on Thursday after the first game, you mentioned how you felt like your team hadn't played up to the standard that you guys had set. How close do you feel like your team came to hitting that standard on Saturday?
I thought we played better. I thought we played better as a cohesive unit. Anytime that you're on a win streak, you're going to have games where you play extremely well. And then you're going to have those games that you call ugly wins, and then you're going to have those tough wins. And Saturday was a tough win. I mean, St. Mary's has a great team. They have some good coaches. Coach Z does a phenomenal job. Coach Meyer, they have some really good players. Their record is not indicative of how good they're going to be this year. So we were very fortunate to get those two wins last week.
You mentioned Jake Majors as one of the unsung heroes, especially on Saturday. How key was he to you guys finding a way to win that game?
Well, I mean, Jake is just, one of those guys that he finds ways to help you win games. Sometimes it doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but he's such a highly competitive kid, and he's such a kid that's a program guy. He's a culture guy. He's the ultimate glue guy, what we call in basketball, that he can play with about any lineup we have, because he's one of those guys who's going to give you energy, and he's going to give you that focus that you need in direction in terms of leading you towards a win.
Now, you mentioned on Saturday that you guys had some foul trouble. You had to try and play with a few different lineups over the course of that game. How happy are you with the way your team adjusted to whatever was thrown at them and stayed competitive?
Well, I mean, we practice that way, which, that's why we are able to, we're fortunate enough to be able to play different lineups. So it may hurt us sometimes, rhythm, basically on offense. It shouldn't affect us as much on defense. But it was good to see other guys step in, especially with Will Cherry fouling out before overtime, and then to see the other guys step in and give us some major minutes.
This was, I believe, the first time this season where you guys found yourself behind in the last few minutes, had to come back, tie the game in regulation, and win it in overtime. How important is it for a team to be able to pass a test like that at this point in the season? Because obviously you expect there might be situations where you're in a spot like that later in the year. How important was it to pass this test on Saturday?
Well, as the season goes on, these games are going to get more and more and more. Not say that these aren't important, but it's going to be more possessions. The game tends to slow down in basketball as the year goes on. So when you get to those championship game level games, meaning that for the title, or once you get to the conference tournament, to get to the national tournament, it's all about possessions and what you do with your possessions. So if you're able to defend and execute an offense and play together and play numbers like we do with high quality results, then you have a chance to win. So that's kind of our focus all the time.
You guys are 9-1 now, and 9-1 in the LSC as well, since every game so far this year has been a conference game. This is the first time we've had a 9-1 men's basketball team since a year you might remember, 1995 and 96. Mm-hmm. Well, how would you compare and contrast this team to the team you were on back at 95-96 under Coach Carter?
It was similar. This team, has probably the equal amount of depth. We was bigger. We had a bigger front line probably than we had. And then we had an All-American in Deron Rutledge that could really score the basketball inside, which, we don't have that luxury. We have a different type team. We have a guard-oriented team. So, the dynamics are, there are some similarities. I think the character and how we play hard and guarding and playing together. You know, those are synonymous with both teams. I think both teams play with a level of pride, you know, not only for each other, but for the institution. You know, I know when I thought back at, you know, that year, and I talked to those teammates, you know, with those guys, and we always talked about how we focused what was just in front of us. And we focused on, you know, leaving a legacy here collectively together, and also to play with Javelina pride every day, you know. Sometimes you see that today, a lot of guys that are playing, kids playing athletic, I mean, they don't play for their school, you know, they play for themselves. And that wasn't the case back then, and it's certainly not the case with this team.
Defense has been a hallmark of this team so far. You have the best scoring defense in the Lone Star Conference right now. What have been the biggest keys for you guys staying tough on the defensive end so far?
Well, you can't be a good defensive team. You cannot be a good defensive team without a good scheme and game plan. I think Coach Gonzalez does a phenomenal job orchestrating that, and then our kids do a phenomenal job, or have been up until this point, of executing it. I always say they have a choice. They can execute the game plan and play hard and compete, or they can do the other. And we are fortunate to have young men that continue to want to get better in that field. We pride ourselves with 50-50 balls and rebounding, and you know, it's a lot of little things, deflections, that make a team a championship level team. It's just not always scoring and offensive minded.
Talking with Javelina head men's basketball coach Johnny Estelle on the Javelina Coaches Show. Things don't get any easier for you guys this week. You have to go on the road to play West Texas, who's been consistently one of the best teams in Division II. What are the challenges you expect? What are the challenges you guys are going to have this weekend in Canyon? Well,
I mean, number one, they're a really good team. You know, Coach Brown and his staff do a phenomenal job with their guys. They play a brand of basketball that is hard to defend for, you know, just not us, but everybody. You know, then you play them at their place. They don't lose much up there, you know. So, you know, you have to go in there with a different type of mindset. Not that we have to wholesale change a lot of things that we do, but we have to play better. You know, and when I say better, I mean we can't foul. We can't put ourselves in position. We have to take advantage of the talents that we have, and we have to some kind of way slow down the talent that they have. They got a lot of guys that can shoot it. They got a lot of guys that can put it on the floor. They got a great backcourt in Quay Grant and Murray. So, you know, we'll have our hands full with those guys, and hopefully we, you know, go out and execute the game plan. That it'll be 2 really good games.
Okay, well, Coach, best of luck in Canyon this weekend. We'll see you back here again soon. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
And we mentioned Javelina men's basketball team won twice this past weekend, and feel free to stick around, take a look at some of the highlights from TAMUK men's basketball's victory on Thursday. This is the Javelina Coaches Show on the Mendoza's Pharmacy, Javelina Sports Network.
And that shot was off, but Flowers gets it right back, throws it out. Derek Luna for some second chance points. He's got them. 10 to shoot. Jones trying to drive past Karen, throws it out. Tyrese Patterson spots up and cans it. Jones out of the corner, now comes in and scores. They get by the man on the open court. Creighton Avery for 3. 5 for Creighton Avery, who's shooting better than 45% on threes this season. Avery into the front court. Flowers, the transition 3 from Derek Luna. He's got it. 6 for Derek Luna. Had a huge one on Friday against Permian. Luna looked like he traveled. There was no call. Shayer for 3. Patterson wants to drive. Majors out of the corner. He's got 3 more. And TAMUK's lead is double figures for the first time. McDougal then lost it. Ball loose on the floor. Flowers gets it to Shayer. Wilson ahead of the pack for the bucket and the foul. Avery heads inside and scores. 7 for Creighton Avery. There's an example of it right there. Jones to Avery. Avery from the right side. The 3 is good. Patterson to Wilson. Pass underneath to Jones. Back out. Avery left open. He's got 3 more. 15 for Creighton Avery. Avery has 15 points right now. That leads all scorers. Into the corner. Jordan Wilson for a 3. And the Javelinas ahead by 20 for the first time. Avery to Patterson. Patterson left wide open and cans a tray. Since then, the Rattlers have been in control. Wilson for a bucket and a foul. And TAMUK has won its 6th in a row. They take this one by a score of 70-56 over St. Mary's, and they improve to 8-1 in the 2020-21 season.